Okay, now let's add a footer section to our site. We're going to make it be the same width and same layout as what we've been working with before. And so to do that, let's start with our results from the end of part 1 previously. Here are my files. I'm going to rename my folder now. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this folder. On a Mac, if you right-click, you can select Duplicate. On a PC, I think you have to do a copy-paste. And I'm going to call these files part 2 for me. So with my part 2 files, I'll open those in Text Wrangler. And I'll open the index in my browser. Here's what we finished with last time. We want to add a footer section down to the bottom, to the place where we normally put copyright information. And using what we've done before, this won't be very difficult to add. Let's work in the markup because we need to add actual content for the footer section. And so our footer will simply be a paragraph that will have copyright information in it. So I'm going to create space, add a paragraph, and we can say copyright. And here's the HTML code for copy the right symbol, and 2010, close the paragraph. Let's save that and look at our results. Scroll down, you can see I've got copyright 2010. It's just not laid out, and so what I need to do is, as we've done before, I'll create a div that wraps around this and that we can use as handles to create the layout we want. So just as above, we're going to open a div, give it an ID. Typically this is called a footer. So this is a normal way of naming this section of the site. Indent my contents of the footer, go down below, close the div tag, and immediately comment it so I can keep track of the fact that this is the ID footer div. And if we've done that right, at first we're not going to see anything because we need to make the changes to the CSS code. So, moving to our style sheet. By this point, hopefully you're figuring out that there are two ways we could tackle this. One would be we can create a whole new set of rules for the footer, or if we want it to have the same padding, the same border, the same width, and the same margin as the header and the main, which is exactly what we want, all we have to do is add another selector to this section, ID footer. Let's see what happens. Save, refresh. Alright, it's exactly what we want, except we want the background color. Let's give it the same background color of the header section up above. Again, we've got two options. We could create a new rule, or we can simply add footer to this rule here that gives us the background color we want. There. Well, it's looking pretty good. So there's a couple of things we want to do next, but for now I'm going to close off this short video and we'll pick it up with the next video in just a moment.